what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back with the next review of the Fangoria Challenge. This time, Jason and I watched Alice, Sweet Alice, a.k.a. Communion. Alice, Sweet Alice is a 1976 slasher film, and along with Communion, it's also known as Holy Terror. According to Fangoria, it's one of the 101 best horror movies you've never seen. In fact, it's the first movie listed in this book. Alice, Sweet Alice is infamous for being the first theatrical role for a very young Brooke Shields. She plays a young and, quite frankly, whiny girl named Karen. On the day Karen is supposed to be taking her first communion, she is murdered in the church. Karen's older sister, Alice, becomes the prime suspect. Alice is 12 years old, but she was played by the 19-year-old Paula E. Shepherd. She definitely did not look her age, though. She easily passes as a 12-year-old. Alice has a history of doing some nasty things and making them look like accidents. Of course, with Karen's death, it's already hard enough on Alice's parents, who are divorced, by the way. Now it's even more difficult for them when Alice must be sent away for psychiatric testing. This comes after Alice's aunt is attacked and stabbed on the stairwell of their apartment building. The culprit wore a hooded rain jacket and a creepy mask, seen here on the cover. With Alice now in a children's hospital, her parents try to prove her innocence, especially her father Dom. Eventually, Alice is released and allowed to come back home. But then, the body count rises. Alice claims she's not the killer, and swears it was Karen who stabbed their aunt. But Karen's dead, isn't she? Is it truly someone else behind that mask, or is it Alice, Sweet Alice? Alice, Sweet Alice is a great 70s whodunit slasher. It has that great 70s vibe, and it's such a surreal film. There's a dreamlike quality to it, but also a grittiness. The music is haunting, and the movie is super atmospheric. The religious overtones add another layer of creepiness. And the mask is so simple, yet effective. Paula E. Shepherd is fantastic as Alice. I also really liked Alfonso de Noble as Mr. Alfonso, the landlord. He is such a disgusting character, and he's meant to be. Rest in peace to him, though. He passed away just 2 years after the movie's release. And speaking of releases, this here is the Anchor Bay DVD release, which at one point was extremely hard to find and ridiculously expensive. Fun story about my copy of the DVD. I found it at a local movie and music store years ago. It had been long out of print at that point, but for some reason, this particular store tends to get overstock of out-of-print titles sometimes. This happened to be one of them, as it was brand new and still sealed. I just walked into the store that day at the right time, saw it immediately on the shelf, and grabbed it within 30 seconds of being in the store. I could not believe my luck. A guy a little way down the aisle noticed it in my hand, and I saw him gradually making his way toward me. Sure enough, he asked me, "Did you just find that?" And I said, "Yeah." He just shook his head and said, "Wow." I could tell he wanted it and felt horrible that he missed out. I miss those days of finding really rare Anchor Bay horror releases at DVD stores. Those days are few and far between now. Anyway, that's just a fond moment I have of finding this DVD. I also own 2 different VHS releases of Alice, Sweet Alice. Like I said, the movie used to be extremely rare, and that's why it was included on this Fangoria list. It definitely deserves its spot. Plus, it's a really good religious rain slicker slasher. And Don't Look Now, my relatable recommendation, is also a rain slicker slasher. Don't Look Now is a 1973 horror film, and it has the same feel as Alice, Sweet Alice. Julie Christie and Donald Sutherland are a grieving married couple who moved to Venice after the loss of their daughter. Meanwhile, a killer wearing a rain slicker slashes victims in the streets. Don't Look Now deserves a look now if you haven't seen it. And so does Alice, Sweet Alice. Have you seen it? If so, what do you think of it? Comment below and let me know. And please be sure to check out Jason's review. What will we watch next for the Fangoria challenge? Check back soon to find out. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind. Subscribe.